Yeah.
Yeah, we can wanna delegate the thing, right? But you have to have a high level understanding of how you
I feel like we saved the best for last.
Okay, amazing.
And we're gonna share and bring to you guys today my friend, photographer and interior photographer, Rayon Richards. Rayon is a graduate of the School of Visual Arts. He had work that was first published in 2001 at the close of his freshman year. 23 years into his career, he's amassed an extensive body of work and an impressive list of portrait and interior design clients that include myself. House Beautiful Magazine, Architectural Digest, Benjamin Moore Paint, Viacom, Sony Music, Wall Street Journal, Foot Locker, Lincoln Motor Company, and Soho House. Over the course of his career, his images have been published on over 100 magazine covers, many record albums, several commercial advertisements, as well as in 5 coffee table books. His work is an iconic home as well. His latest accomplishment is being listed as one of 100 approved interior photographers by Architectural Digest. So help me in welcoming Rayon Richards.
Thank you, Kia, for inviting me to be a part of this. Thank you, everyone, for being here. So I guess I'll get started. So I want to talk today about the human connection in interior design photography and how I relate to the projects that you create. As she started off by saying, I am a portrait and interior design photographer. And I actually started my career as a portrait photographer. And as you see here, there are two, so I'm gonna do it before I head into the interior, I'm gonna talk a little bit about portraits and how I started to see interiors in my portrait work. So there are only really 2 ways to photograph a person, either in studio or on location somewhere. And I found that when I did photograph people in studio, I got really beautiful images, but it's always the images of people in environments that really tell the story of who they are. And for example, this, like I could tell you that this guy is a car dealer, but this image says so much more about what he does and who he is. Q-Tip here, 90s throwback picture with him with a Volkswagen Jetta, which again, beautiful image of him on the left, but this image to me is so much more intriguing because of the environment. Carrie Hilson. But I love studio, I've always loved studio photography, but for me, it's really the environment, like being able to be in a space and trying to find ways to use the space to inform the viewer, who's obviously the person who's viewing the images, a little bit about the person who I'm photographing. And so as I began photographing more and more people in environments, I started to also realize that subconsciously my framing was always, my framing was always very straight on. It was very, if you remove the person from the image, you almost have an interior, And this is how I have always pretty much approached environmental portraits. And so, I do these shoots and I'd be just as excited about the space that I was shooting in as the person who I was photographing. And it would be incredibly disappointing to me if I got to a location and I hated it. Because I cared about the space that I was shooting. So this shoot here, this shot is actually from 2008. This is with Gabrielle Anwar in her home in Miami. And this was actually the first image that I shot that I was just like, wait a second. Like, if you remove this person from the image, like this looks like, I'm sorry? Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, if you remove this person from the image, you have an interior, right? You know, like there's so much life in the image just without her, but also everything, every element of the image says everything about her without, even if she was removed from the image. So I started to do that more, right? I'd get in these scenarios where I'd be doing these environmental portraits of people in their home. And then I would say, how about you just hop out of the shot for a second? You know, or like Jodie Patterson here in her office. How about you just hop out of the shot for a second, you know? And I get these beautiful images and I'm like, wow, I want to focus more on interiors. So this picture here, which is a vignette that I shot with an interior designer, you can picture someone sitting right there. Yeah, remove them from the shot and it's an interior. So that was kind of my foray into interior design photography, as far as feeling, you know, like the things that attracted me to interiors. I didn't know that I always had a love for interiors. It was just through my environmental portraits and realizing how important the environment was to me in my effort and mission to make the best possible image of a person. So I want to now talk about the things that I focus on as an interior design photographer, which are not that different from the things that I focus on when I'm shooting people. Excuse me, I hate to use the word shooting now. The world has changed so much.
Capturing.
People. So light is the primary and most important thing, right? Photography the word photography comes from the Greek word photos graphos, which means writing with light. So without light, you have nothing. And, you know, I always say that this is the only time in life that I can ever call God my assistant, because the light that, you know, like anytime you're on set, you never know what kind of situation you're going to run into with light. I personally am a big fan of natural light. I think a lot of times, you know, these kind of shots I love, right? But a lot of times also, there's nothing wrong with mood, you know? I think these sometimes are my favorite images, only because I think it expresses so much more feeling. And like I said earlier, like I try to find what I view as the humanity in portraits. Excuse me, not portraits, in interiors, right? Like I want you to view the images and have a feeling in the same way that you would like see a portrait of a person and have a visceral feeling towards them. You know, how does it make you feel? Composition. How is the image composed? You know, just using light to help tell the story. And composition. So composition is the second thing that is something that I really focus on. And the thing that I love most about being an interior photographer is that my job is to make art out of the art that you created. So I'm coming in and you've already styled the space, you've done the layout, everything is exactly where it's supposed to be. And the fun part for me is finding the shot. So I get to just come in and find a shot as it already exists. This is one of my favorites just because it was just like that, you know, like just the way that it brings your eye all the way around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very well.
And that's important, especially, you know, for your portfolios as an interior designer. Like you want images that are intriguing and that like make people wanna like look through the entire photo and like look at every single detail. Again here.
Can we ask questions?
Yes.
Sure.
So can we go back to the shot?
Sure.
It seems so intentional on the right side where you have the canopy, like it's caught in the frame, and yet the top left piece is cut out of the frame.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about how that composition plays into how we're reading that image? Was it intentional? Is it just how we captured it?
Yes, no, it was intentional. It was intentional. Yeah, sometimes I like to do that, like, I don't, it's like, I like to frame things in a way sometimes where it's like, everything doesn't have to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything, it doesn't have to be so like, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't find a word.
Control, maybe like so controlled.
Yes, yeah. I wanted to feel like a moment, that was caught, it doesn't, so that's what, that was intentionally done. I do have one that was not cropped like that, but I preferred this one.
Can I ask you a question about
Of
this one as
course,
well?
sure.
You said that you shot this, just as it was, as it existed.
Yeah.
How often do you go into a space and you're like, We
Oh,
need to
that
move
does
this.
happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I was gonna actually.
Okay,
so there-
sorry.
No, it's perfectly fine. I love the interaction. Collaborate with me. So I do love when I can go into a space and just see shots, right? That's not, the entire shoot is never like that. But quite often as I'm shooting, I'm like, oh shoot, there's another shot. Like it's just right there, right?
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that that things don't sometimes have to be tweaked. When I first started, I would shoot with designers. And I think as I've gotten further and further into my career, I've learned that it's more of a collaborative process, right? And I think that designers learn this also as they go further and further into their career. That, sometimes I would show up and designer would have the place ready and she'd just be like, she or he, excuse me, would be like, okay, just go ahead, do your thing. They'd be over here eating a bagel. And I would shoot it. And then they would come back later and they would be like, oh, I wish you got this
Oh,
thing.
yeah, no.
Oh, I wish you caught this thing. And so now everything is intentional. And I'm like, you have to be right here the entire time, and we're doing it together, and I'm setting the shot. And sometimes I see the shot, and even that there might be a need for a little tweaking. Maybe we need to move the bars over a little bit, maybe we need to move the pillow over a little bit. So that does happen, but that doesn't mean that the composition isn't already. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, with a shot like this and the other one with the bed, and you've obviously got the light coming through, will you recce your property first to see where the sunlight's gonna be at a certain point, or will you ask the homeowner or the interior designer, is this property south facing? Where is it? So you know where the light's coming in from?
Yes, I do ask those questions. I like to be aware of where I'm going to shoot at what time of day, especially if it's gonna be like a full day shoot. It's like, okay, this is where the sun is facing at this time of day, so we need to focus on this room first and then go back to that room later,
Do you also bring in your own lighting and do you have an
Yes.
assistant for that?
Yes. So I generally always have lighting. But I always make sure that the lighting is not overpowering the sun, the natural daylight, because I want it to feel like life. Like I want the viewer to look at the images and feel like they just walked into the room and this is exactly how it is. But there are things that you may not notice, not in this particular shot, there was a little bit of flash because this side down here was a little bit dark down in this area here. So there was a little flash coming here, but that's just to pop up the, just open up the shadows a little bit. So in that way, I do use strobes.
In your home, are you allowed to take those people, you own the home, or the person whose house you're doing owns the artwork, are you still photograph that, like in a?
You mean like, oh, if someone has,
Yes, like say artwork by, I don't know, somebody.
Kara Walker?
Anybody, like a famous artist, or
Yeah.
something like that, so if you have that artwork in your home, and you're coming and photographing that home during a photo shoot, you take those pictures, right, it's no legal.
Yeah,
you have to
yeah,
worry
there's
about.
no issue with that. Yeah. I think sometimes depending on if it's published, where it's published, so sometimes shoots in cases like that, sometimes they'll do an image with and an image without, just to be on the safe side. This is one of my favorites, just because I just love the way that these, I think these are plates,
Like,
baskets, excuse me, are. Baskets. Yeah, who's gonna eat out of that? I went to school. Baskets are kind of just playing, like sweeping down with the stairs, and just how this, which is actually this is a mirror reflection, it's properly framed in the image. So this is what I'm talking about composition, like nothing was moved here. But like finding these gems in people's homes that, you know what, they probably don't even see sometimes. I'm sure the designer probably saw this, but like being able to walk into a space and find these moments to me, and it's that little hint of green over there from the wall underneath the stair, and that just plays off here in the green. It's
So
like,
nice.
it makes my heart sing. So composition, it's everything, you know, balance. You know, we have, what would this shot be without this here? You know, we have a window, and then this framed image here, which also acts as a window, but then this navy blue is playing off of that navy blue, and there's like, you know, there's this diagonal balance that's going on here, and the way that the white comes and all the way around here, it's just composition. I focus on composition most, composition and light. Sweeping movement, you know, it's like, it's symmetrical, but it's asymmetrical. But there's energy to it, you know, it moves. This shot in particular, I really love, just because of the juxtaposition of the warm feeling of this like spa-like tub situation. But then you look out the window and it's a frozen lake. You know, it's like, it makes you feel that, you know, that feeling you get in the wintertime when it's really cold and you walk into your house and it's really warm, and it's like, it feels like the warmth is hugging you. That's what I get when I look at it. But again, composition, you know. The shot was just there. Nothing was moved in this shot. And I like images like this because I'm a big fan of instances where, again, like I was saying earlier, where your eye gets to move around, you know, from area to area. There's 3 different planes going on here. You have foreground, middle ground, and background, and your eye just kind of skates around the room, and then now you're over here looking at the books, and you're like, oh wow, that's a really interesting bookshelf that's right there. And it's like, these are the things that I pay attention to when I'm setting up the shots, and I'm always thinking about the viewer and how people are gonna experience the image, because I want them to experience the space the way I experience the space. It's the most important thing. So I think it's really it's really important as a photographer to be sensitive to a space in the same way that you're sensitive to a person. You know, you meet a person and you feel their energy. You know, it's like I walk into a space a lot of times. I'll get information like you asked about the you know, what time the sun is coming in the room or what have you, but a lot of times, sometimes designers will send me pictures. A lot of times I just want to walk in and just have like a firsthand experience with the space and just like feel the room in the way that like someone would come into the room for the first time. And that's how I generally decide like how I'm going to approach each shot. You recognize this shot here, my dear?
Oh.
Yeah.
It's my project.
That's right.
Wow.
So again,
Credit up there, give her credit now.
it was moved in this shot, but I just love the way that the window and the door right perfectly frame the basket. And color.
More of my project.
Gorgeous.
Color, I love color. That's one of the things, I love designers who really know how to use color, and just to help tell the story of a space. But I also love when people don't use color and they know how to do that well too,
Can you go back real quick?
Sure.
I'm sorry.
Of course.
Thank you.
All of the details, the way that the coffee table has, just been so well styled. Again, this was a shot, when we were walking through the home, because I like to do walkthroughs first, okay. And I like to listen to a designer's enthusiasm and excitement about certain things that they have in the room. And I'm like, okay, I need to keep that in mind. I need to make sure that I feature that, even if they don't say it, I need to make sure that. And I remember seeing this coffee table. I need to make sure I get this, a really proper shot of this. And I love this shot.
Can I ask you a question about the candle?
Sure.
I've worked with a couple of different photographers and I get different opinions about having candles lit and having lights on.
Yeah.
I personally like the candles lit, but most of the photographers are like, no, don't have them lit. What's your preference? What do
I
you
like candles lit. I like lights off, but I like candles lit. Because I think candles lit, a lit candle to me is like going back to that one image. It's mood,
Yeah.
it's mood, it's feeling, it's how we live.
Do you have
know?
to alter the light from the candle when you're editing?
Sometimes it depends on what the ambient light of the room is like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are instances, please.
Okay, I have a question.
Sure.
Do real flowers make a difference in the photo that, especially if you're gonna be pitching it? Like most clients say, I'm gonna kill the plants, I'm gonna kill the flowers, give me the fake ones. But if we're photographing this, do real flowers come up better?
Yes, always. Sometimes you can get away with silk peonies, or something like that, but in most cases, I would always just spring for fresh flowers the day of the shoot. And then, you got flowers for your home when you leave.
I leave them for the client.
Or that. So I love color, I love I'm really drawn, as a photographer, I'm really drawn to color, but I'm also really drawn to interesting wallpaper.
So pretty. Beautiful. Take a picture of it. Don't you change it.
What did you want to say? No. Yeah, no, please, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Is your, Amber, is this
Yeah.
Amber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago,
Um,
well, last week.
or is all of your work,
That's
do you
great.
have all your work
Yeah.
online in a
Not
portfolio?
everything is not online, but
Yeah,
I
it's a
mean,
lot.
it's a lot of stuff, but the key most important things are on my website currently, yeah, but it shifts often.
Okay.
Thank God I can say that, because that means I'm working, right?
That's right.
Color, wallpaper, texture, it's like the fashion of a room.
So pretty.
Yeah.
Was that paint or wall?
No, this is a wallpaper, but it's a textured wallpaper. Here we go. Here we go again. Look at that. Look at that. Third time. Wallpaper, color. This was the first shoot that you were the first designer I worked with who I was really impressed by the use of color. I'm not just saying that because you're here. I'm really impressed with all of the different colors and all of the different patterns that you used and how well everything went together. Yeah.
So pretty.
As a photographer, it's you want every as a designer, you want every project that you photograph to be something that you can put in your portfolio, right? So that's my goal for the designer. But also a goal for myself is nothing feels better when I'm oh, this is gonna be great in my book. You know, this is gonna elevate my work. And this is one of my favorites for that reason. Wallpaper again, like I just love just when I see a designer use bold colors, mix wallpaper and paint. Two completely different shoes, two completely different wallpapers, but feeling very, very the same. Two different designers.
Oh.
Is that wallpaper or tile?
That's wallpaper. Yeah.
Rayon, will you take the mirrors down when you're shooting? Or will you just shoot
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Mirrors?
Yeah, would you take them down when you're shooting, or do you just work around?
No, if the mirror is an integral part of the designer's project, I don't.
Just have to work
I
with
just
it.
work around them, yeah. I try my best not to alter the designer's vision. You know, I want to keep it as true to the designer's vision as possible. Very, very, you know, if my camera's in the mirror, I'll Photoshop it up.
Right, okay.
Shapes, patterns, colors, just all of the things. These are the things that I'm paying attention to when I show up to a shoot. Details, colors.
Oh, I love the unseen book on the bottom. That's so good.
Mhm. Details. You know, I like this shot because I think sometimes you can overstyle, you can understyle, or you can just style. You know, and like sometimes I think that, you know, it's very easy for a designer to get caught up in, is there too much? Do we have it too little? Like, and I'll always give my input if it's asked. But in this particular shot, like I was like, everything looks perfect. Like we don't have to move anything, because I think that there's an element of lived-inness that I think is really, really important. You know, you don't want everything to feel too much like a dry catalog. You know, you want it to feel like you can see yourself living there, your viewer can see yourself living there, your future clients looking at these images are like, wow, you know? And they're looking at the picture and then they're looking at their bookshelf like, maybe I should have this designer come and do something at my place. What's on the coffee table? What's on the coffee table matters. Going back to the shot we were talking about with Kia, what's on the coffee table matters. 3 different spaces, 3 different feelings. And I just love details like this. Leather door, draw pull. So I'm always looking for these things, you know, as I'm shooting. Little things like this that kind of tie the story together. You know, it's not all about like the overarching shot. It's about, you know, getting that shot, but then also getting in tight, getting in a little closer, getting in a little closer.
It's so great.
And sometimes you have help. Sometimes you have help. So, you know, I was shooting this faucet and the cat just jumped in. And I was like, all right, we're doing this. And so I love life that is not human life, but also helps to like make the shot great. So, you know, we love a real dog. We love a fake dog. And we love plants.
Yes.
Now, this is kind of cheating because this is Hilton Carter's home, right? It's like, there's plants everywhere. But like, I always encourage designers to have as much plant life in the home as possible when shooting, because it just adds so much more, you know? Plant life and flowers, I think, important. Highly important. Fresh flowers. Plants on the outside, plants on the inside. Full flowers, you said? Yeah.
Yeah, they last forever.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah.
They gonna kill everything.
And speaking of life, I've been doing this new thing recently where I've been looking for moments to make GIFs on shoots. So this is fun for me, where it's like, I try to do one now on every shoot where there's an open close situation. And I always just give this to the designer.
That's cute.
And it looks good on your site, you know, it's like, it just,
I have a question about that. I know we talked briefly about the legalities of the images when we're done. Working with you specifically, is there, like, who owns them afterwards? Is it your legal property or
yeah, yeah.
designers?
I always own the copyright, but you have rights to use the images. Yeah. So
In what
then it's-
capacity?
You heard that, you say.
Some will
Whatever we
say
just-
just website, some will say this, but if it goes to publication, it's
Yes,
different.
yeah, that's
You
pretty
can
much
clarify
it. So
that.
it's like marketing, website, social media, all of the things that have to do with promotion of your work. But then if it's gonna be published, or if it's gonna be published in a publication, then I generally ask to be referred to the, you know, the photo department.
So they will then compensate you for that.
Yes.
I understand.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Don't bring it up, don't bring it up. Next slide, next slide.
Keep going.
You have Mr. Biz Law for that.
But speaking of movement, open and closed movement, just like, you know, I'm always looking for moments where, like, even in the stationary shot, it feels like there's movement. Transition, movement, transition. Are there spaces where we feel like we can walk through?
It just makes me so happy.
I love, I'm always thinking about the viewer. I'm always thinking about the potential next client, whether it's for me or it's for you. And it's like, I want people to experience the room as if they're really there. So I find that any space that feels like you can move through it are some of the most intriguing and most interesting shots. We're just coasting through the room. You know, and it's foreground, middle ground, background. It's like a multi-plane image, and it takes your eye all the way through. Playing with the shapes. You know, you have circles, you have squares, you have arches. I went to school. I went to art school too, which is crazy, right? I don't know what you're talking about. The word the shapes aren't coming to me. Walking through. You know, when I was going through my images and I was putting this together, this image came to me, and it's a walking through image, but it's also like walking around a table, you know, like that. I think about like living in the space when I look through the images sometimes when I'm putting stuff together, or even when I'm on set, I'm like, I think about like the experience of actually living in the space, like how people move through the space. And sometimes, you know, like I showed the other shots, they're like walking through, but this one for me feels like, you know, maybe there's a dinner party happening and someone's like, excuse me, and they're walking around the table. Walking through again. And so I have this thing where I'm thinking about multiple things while I'm shooting, as I've stated. But I'm also thinking about the bigger picture, which for me, the bigger picture is my general body of work, right? So a lot of times I'll see things on set that remind me of shots that I've already done. And I'm like, oh, and then it becomes like a trend for me almost, where I'm like, I want to keep doing that thing. So I've been working on this like it's not secret, but like it's kind of a series that I've been working on where anytime I see two chairs in a room, you remember two chairs from the last, bigger picture, I will do these shots of two chairs. So I have this collection of images of two chairs from different designers that I've worked with over time. Two chairs here again. And this one is impressive to me just because of the scale. This is in Connecticut.
How did you shoot that? Because a wide angle lens would actually distort that. How did you actually shoot that?
It was, well, it was a large living room.
So you,
I'll say
it was,
that,
you
but
had
I
the
was
space
pretty
to.
far back, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but it was also a wide angle lens, but it wasn't. And if, I'm not sure your familiarity with lenses, focal lengths, but it was
That's okay.
24 millimeters.
Oh,
Yeah.
24, oh, okay, yeah, I understand
Yeah.
that, I understand that.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you know more than you know, but then you think, you know more than you
We're
know.
acting like it.
Freya, how do you handle
No,
situations
it's-
where you have a house with 20 but you don't get a full picture of that space, it's not captured, you just almost get half of it or 3/4 of it. Because of the distortion of the angle of the lens and the amount of space you have to capture the space, they can't get the entire length or height of the ceiling height. Do you have like another way that you capture it?
You know, I have never run into that problem.
Really?
But anytime I've been, so there are, lenses come in multiple qualities, right? So like the more expensive the lenses, even at the wider angles, the better they are at not being distorted. So there are tilt shift lenses, getting a little technical, where that's something that doesn't become much of a concern when you're dealing with tilt shift lenses. You don't really have to worry about distortion and everything, all the lines are straight. But then there's also post-production, Photoshop, you can shoot the bottom half and then shoot the top half, stitch it together in Photoshop. So there are ways to work around that, yeah.
Thank you.
Of course. Two different shoots, but I'm seeing, oh, I remember that shot. Here again. And this is my favorite. Two different shoots, two different designers. But I'm always, yeah, right? But I'm always thinking about the bigger picture and relating previous shoots, previous images to other images. Or previous images to current images. And sometimes it's not even about relating an image of an interior to an image of another interior. Sometimes it's relating an image of an interior to an image of a person. I love this thing here, but just like peeking through the columns. And so this is my last shot. And I chose this because it's a reflection there are two shots here and they're both reflections of interior spaces. And I think it's important to remember when I'm shooting that interiors are reflections of the people who live in them. They're reflections of the designer's passion and the designer's vision. And they're also, these shots that I do are reflections of how I experience the space. When we look in mirrors, we see ourselves, but looking in these mirrors and seeing these projects that someone else created just always reminds me of the human connection to the work. And so the things that I focus on, whether it's portraits or interiors, are pretty much the same across the board. Light in both, mannerisms and gestures in portraits is not that different from the movement and transitions in interiors. Fashion and style in portraits is not that different from color, texture, and fabric in interiors. Demeanor and disposition in portraits is not different from composition and layout in interiors. And the energy that you get from people is not different from the feeling you get from interiors. And that's my human connection.
It's very important because I think, for Marcus, we were like, oh, Marcus, we're gonna get you in, you're gonna do these headshots and you're gonna be out. And he was like, no. And I believe he's still at the very front of that line because
Yeah.
he's back there like, he's in his element and I've worked with you before, so I know you get in your element and it's funny because you were like designers who kind of come in and they say, do your thing. And I feel like I did that the first time and you were like, no, you need to come over here and look at this. This is what Catherine and others mentioned this morning when they said you really need to hire a good photographer. Because good photographers love their craft. You can feel that they love their craft and they're gonna really produce for you. So I just wanted to say that. Welcome.
I felt your
Where are you
passion. It
based,
was-
sorry, where are you based out of?
I'm here in New York,
Oh, you, oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
but I do travel.
He's coming.
If you're in Atlanta, I got family in Atlanta I'll stay with.
What is, besides hotel and, air, what is the fee for travel?
That's it, really. I mean, it's hotel and air and car rental if necessary.
Can you get?
Rental, if it's
She said like a big.
and then sometimes equipment rental.
Equipment,
Oh, yeah,
okay.
pick me up, sure. Whatever way we can cut costs and expenses, I am down for that. I'm not some diva, you know. Listen, if you have a guest room, I'll stay there.
Good to know.
Okay, this
Can
is,
you,
this,
can you give half days
Yeah.
and day rates?
Transparency they need.
Oh, you mean like, the rates right now?
yeah.
Oh, sure.
Did they go up?
It's like, were you like? Matter of the question, yeah, they would.
Is there a BID discount?
Oh, my
Discount.
friend.
My full day rate is $23.50.
Okay.
And then my half day rate is $14.50, but I mean, in most cases, it's, unless you're just doing one room, like a half day rate doesn't really exist, because if you're doing like two, it takes like 3 hours sometimes just to get through one room. So, you know, a lot of times, I've, in the past, designers have been like, oh, I just wanna do a half day. And then we end up being there for 6 hours, and I'm like.
Can I say
oh.
something, can I say something on that? That is an excellent rate.
Yes.
Can you say it again? We missed what you said.
The way you've been featured, I have to say, if you have.
We didn't hear what you said. What's the rate? We didn't hear it over here. People are talking.
For a full day.
$23.50 full day.
Yes, that's
That-
That's a good.
Doesn't include like, if you didn't have to purchase the images, and it grows from there. That's why I was like, oh, no, like, I don't know if I should give the rate on camera, but.
He grows, what do you mean?
Like, there are additional things, like if you need, like, okay, so it's like, that's the base rate, but then equipment rental, assistant, car rental.
No, I thought you meant if I need to purchase a photographer.
Yes, then there's image, yeah, so then there's like the cost of the images. That's what I'm saying, so it grows from there, that's just the base.
That's for you to come out
That's
and do the
just for him to put
photos.
his lens on you.
Right, and then,
So then what's the other image?
Right. Well, let's have a conversation. on
But
that.
Brayon, if you can maybe share, like you,
Call him.
like you said, we know that there's the car rental, there's getting you there, but then you have retouching of images
That's what I'm
that are
saying,
not
yeah.
done by you, that you gotta
Right,
send
so then there's
out.
retouching, so that goes into the cost of purchasing the final
Mhm,
images,
right.
right? So it's like, we do the shoot, I'm sorry, I'm coming to
no,
you.
keep going.
Yeah, we do the shoot, send you a gallery link, you go through the images, you say, I want these images. I send you a final invoice with what the rate will be with the retouching, because I can't include that in the estimate, because I don't know how many images you're gonna choose, but I do give a base at the beginning. Sometimes people, depending on how many rooms people choose, I'll just be like, okay, if it's 2 rooms, they probably want 10 images, so I'll put that in the estimate. But then sometimes they want 30 images, you know, and then, so it's like, okay, in the end, this is what it's gonna be. And then, you know, they'll send the remaining for the balance. Well, her first. I'm
So
sorry.
on average, I estimate to spend anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000 on photo for a project.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing that for every project.
Right.
And then I will also, if I use a lot of a specific manufacturer, I will ask them if they want to cover some of the costs
Sure.
of the photo shoot.
Sure.
And I also include, if I'm gonna have a separate stylist, I think it's just budgeting forward on the front end. And you know halfway through your project, if it's gonna be a great project
Right.
and you wanna photograph photograph it, and if not, have a roster of 2 to 3 different photographers at different price points to work with. So that's what I would always
I
kind of try to
absolutely
do.
agree.
Yeah.
Please.
I've heard, does it help, because you've been published in Architecture Digest, that you're on the list of accepted photographers, doesn't that help get published? I mean, versus using a photographer that doesn't have experience, don't the publishers prefer working with you?
You know, it helps sometimes. It helps sometimes. It all depends on the project. You know, I did a project recently, well, last year, with a designer, and she loved the images. I loved the images. And then she was shopping the shoot around. But I guess the way that it was styled for the publication that wanted to pick it up, it wasn't styled to their general aesthetic. So they ended up coming in with their own photographer and reshooting it, which I was just like, but those kind of things happen. So it's not, it's, you know, it's, yeah, it does help, you know, but sometimes.
I was just, because I've had photographers pitch to me that, oh, well, don't go to that person because they're gonna accept my photos and not theirs.
I don't think that that's real. I think they're just selling themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't think things that should be done or prepared before you come out. like-
Oh, my goodness. Okay. Dust. Please. Dust. Clean the mirrors. Clean the windows. Put on lotion.
He told me I can't Photoshop
We're friends. I probably wouldn't say this. Until we were friends. Yes, I find dust is like the nuisance, the bane of my existence. Sometimes I'm going through and I'm doing, you know, the retouching is being done. And sometimes I'll send stuff to the retoucher and sometimes I'll do stuff myself, but then like I go back and I'm like doing fine tuning just before, you know, quality control, just to make sure everything's straight before I send to the client. Just like, oh my God, look at the dust. So dusting, sweeping, Swiffering, like all of those things, just make sure that it's all.
Let's say you're doing a full day, 10 shots, on average, how long does it take to get the work back?
Okay, so 48 hours, no more than, let me finish. Okay, 48 hours, I'll send, within 48 hours, I send a link to view a gallery of the images. And then you go through and you, well, yeah, I like quick turnaround. I pride myself on quick turnaround. So in 48 hours, I send a link to the gallery. You go through the images. Now, when you send me your selects, it's on you, right? Because I can't do anything until I get your selects. Yeah. But then after I get your selects, depending on the amount of images that you choose, it could be anywhere from 7 to 12 business days to get all of the retouching done.
That's amazing.
Right, and then there is also like the turnaround time on selects is dependent on the amount of images that you select and then also your retouching requests. Some people have very minimal retouching requests. And some people have extensive list of retouching requests. But regardless of the retouching requests that you have, there are things that I'm trained to see that maybe you missed. So there are things that I always fix either way. So yeah, of course. Anyone else? Yeah. Well, thank you all so much. I love talking about photography. I love talking about interior design.
We can tell.
If I did not become a photographer, I would have been an interior designer. When I was at School of Visual Arts, not too far from here, my instructors said, I was trying to figure out what my career was gonna be in photography. And I remember my first year instructor saying, shoot what you love. Shoot what you love. And as a 18-year-old kid, you know, in his parents' house, of course, I mean, where else would I have been? All I did was, I got my driver's license, and I was in IKEA and Home Depot on a regular basis, just trying different things in the little room that I had. So like, that probably would have been the road that I would have gone down had I not found photography. So I love people, I love interiors, and so that's what I work, that's what my work is about.
do both.
I could do both. I could do both if I could find the time because photography is full time. But yes, thank you so much, everyone.
Thank
You have a good one.
No, I just wanted to take a picture of the kitchen with the gold and the black around it framing. It was beautiful.
Kitchen with the gold and the black. So-
Oh, that. This one,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, that's cool.
This was actually that project I was talking about that
The bar.
they had another designer come in. I guess I think what it was the styling. Because when I looked at their shots, they were the exact same
Angles.
angles that I did, but just styled
Styling of the
less.
bar.
So,
Their
that's-
styling was
You saw.
Mhm.
Oh,
Mhm.
Demure, yeah, demure and mindful.
Yeah, the-
Yeah. Got it?
Thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you, Rayon.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it. I hope you guys have been taking notes and have asked all your questions. I want to touch on something really quickly. So we have Lim Griffin and Michaela Griffin. I'll say hey. Michaela is a high school student and very interested in interior design. Her dad brought her up so that she could be immersed in what we have going on. And so I think that's a beautiful thing. They are in Virginia Beach. So if any of you guys are looking for an intern or just have some words, some loving encouragement to share with Michaela, that would be phenomenal. Tonight, we are celebrating a phenomenal weekend at 3 World Trade Center. It's our all-black soiree. Please be at the World Trade Center to party by 7 o'clock because by 9, they are going to throw us out of there. I have you all on the list because you all have registered for the conference, but please don't bring a +1 because you'll get there and they will turn your +1 around because your +1 is not on the list. Does anybody have any questions about tonight? Okay, tomorrow, because I'm sure after the cocktails have started flowing, some of you will forget to ask. Tomorrow, we will be having, or Michelle Smith Boyle will be hosting our motivational brunch at Jen Air at their 58th Street flagship. Did I get it right? No, like, I don't know, you tell us. Well, I'll figure it out. I'll let you guys know, but it should be on the website. But their New York flagship, then we conclude our conference. Please be sure if you did not receive an email back when you purchased your ticket, that you just shoot our info box an email so that we can add you to our email list. Because when I send Swati's presentation out and everything else post-conference to you guys, I want to make sure you have it. If you've not taken a headshot yet, please get in line to take your headshot. And I will see you tonight.
And lastly, I'm sorry, I just want to say, I don't have any cards on me, but if anybody wants to contact me, we can do it via Instagram and I can send you my info. My Instagram is Rayon Richards Photography _ in between.
What?
Rayon Richards Photography.
Instagram?
Rayon's the best. Rayon's the best. I'm looking at you, 'cause I'm like.
What page?
Mhm.
I'm like connecting. Right, I'm gonna
Oh, nice to meet you.
Every single time.
Yeah, I love to. I certainly will, yeah. Okay.
They like that one cousin, they like.
So exactly.
Mhm.
Thank you. I couldn't hear. Right, I already know you're.
I want to go like tomorrow. Sean said it's gonna be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not gonna be here.
Let me check. Our handy dandy. Jen Air. She said 58.
That's what I'm saying. That's nowhere near here. We're down on 30. That's wild.
Just kind of said that. Jen Air, appliance. That's on 38.
Oh, okay.
You have to have.
Yeah, it's like.
I'm like, where is she?
I had the fish, I had the. Potato, I had the sweet potato, was it?
Chelsea Graham.
Bye, dear, get home safe. See you tomorrow. Thank you. You have to know first.
So she did come back.
I'm like, I'm gonna contact you. See you later. Have a good one.
I'm too like,
And then for your rate, whatever your fee
I
is.
am.
99.9% of the times it's too.
No, it's a Jen Air.
At least, you still.
She said 15.
I'm gonna, it doesn't say on the website. Yeah, I do a lot of multifamily, I do retail, healthcare.
Yeah.
But I don't really believe in marketing, but I just design thinking.
If I may, I don't know.
I don't know why they bothering her on Saturday for this.
Yeah.
But it's mid-city design.
Let me ask if there's only one. Is it only one Jen Air here?
No, I posted up there's more than one, that's why I say, so we gonna need to know the address.
You know, I go all the white
Really
conferences, so I'm
wanna,
gonna come
cause
to
I wanna
the black
be
ones
able
and
to
be in
post.
space with, I know Kia very well. So I wanna come and be in these spaces too, cause it's
Yeah,
people who
tomorrow.
like that need ship a phone call or to see others and community, so I come
I wanna
to.
show you this.
Then.
These are not
Top
my
designers.
Cool.
Yeah, in different stages.
Go to
Because
conference.
there's a lot of shit
And I
that
still need
someone
to
would have told me.
post,
And like again,
I did it from.
it's not like we put our picture, people wanna get.
so if maybe if you can get an image from here, I mean, we can use your image.
Oh, sorry, I was like, is that you? No, I was like, the price of the word. Everybody thinks we're in competition. It's not that deep.
So there's a lot.
Oh, so then you choose the one that you like,
I
right?
cannot express that enough.
You wanted to schedule a visit?
So that's what I was just gonna,
Right here?
that's what we're talking about.
It's kind of starting
So I was gonna say,
But
on
not-
Friday,
I
let
don't
me scan it,
have,
but,
like,
I mean, on Friday, Tuesday.
I have the big story, it's an album.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
This
You're not
Tuesday
putting
coming up.
Can make.
Okay.
So I, what I'm like, here's what I mean, so typically,
I figure
I mean, I would,
mapping it out with
I told my sister.
figure that I'll start like interiors and
I will say the contractors
like
now.
kitchen,
But
baker,
no, that's
and
one thing.
everything.
My issue is, and I think it's
It was pretty good.
but it is gonna be hard. It has
Okay,
to
so 12, good.
So she
Yeah.
knows, but I will also look in the area, if there was a builder, like as a builder, how they would pick someone. But yeah, you ask me for every person that says, oh, you find out, I say yes.
So we have to do that. Outside aesthetic.
My business just turned 12, like, so I'm looking at how, like, the
So
issue that I
haven't
had
shared
years
the
ago.
design with them yet, we're still working on the
It's always
design.
like.
But this is just for me to get into their heads and get them, the juices flowing for them, you know what I mean?
It was fun to see you tomorrow with me. We have 14 people on the team.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's fun, it's hard, but it's fun.
fun.
Yeah.
I'm having fun.
I enjoy.
Like, loving what you do. You know, it's great.
I know that
I love
sounds.
watching Netflix all day.
If I didn't love it, I wouldn't
Like any of that,
go
just
eat
want-
going. If it
why
doesn't
I
feel
would-
good, what's the point? What's the
Nice
point?
lighting.
What's the point?
You are
Those
so
are very
welcome.
good questions, very good questions.
Hi, what speaker would you like in your ceiling?
Right,
You don't
exactly.
care.
Right, I just wanna be able to do what I do.
I have another one.
What's up?
How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I have to accomplish your interior designer to enjoy everything around your world.
I could show him the before pictures, but I like what he just said is that, ceiling, cause we have to drop.
I'll try to do it. I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna
Okay, yeah, send it to me.
this week
Have to
and
drop
show
the
you.
ceiling
It's
a little
so
bit, right, to fit
liquid. Like
some,
literally, it was like.
fit lighting, because, yeah, to put recessed lights in there.
Well,
It looks amazing.
users
Feel like
also-
behind walls.
So I don't know,
Lighting
that's why I'm
so
gonna,
much.
that's why I need the
We
lighting.
don't make lighting fixtures, you need a lighting designer for that.
Yes, yes, yes.
We have one.
But, you know, we can
That's the
integrate
dimensions that you
control of those lighting fixtures depending on the technology they're using behind it.
Right,
Accordingly,
right.
right, so are you gonna look at color tunable lighting, are you gonna look at
I'm sure it's
just, you know, simple,
It's nothing. It's like right here.
or you can look at
And we in
RGB
there.
color,
Okay.
you can look
And
at
then you in
Right.
there.
color temperature
It's
adjustment.
like that, I love that one.
Right,
It's
color
nothing,
temperature
yeah, not the
adjustment.
colors,
We
but
have been.
Yeah, no, we
No,
don't
so
do
like,
the
for
color.
example, in our showroom,
Yeah.
you can do daylight, you can do cool, you can do warm.
Yes.
Right.
You can adjust, that's color temperature adjustment.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Are you looking to incorporate circadian rhythm in that?
right,
Right, so
right.
that kind of thing can be done as well.
Yeah.
So it's all about.
I'm gonna try to get in there.
So you need to explain to us what the circadian, what that
Circadian rhythm
Yeah,
is follow the sun. So
You're never gonna-
when you wake up in the morning,
right.
the lighting is a much warmer.
I've been, I don't live there.
Okay.
It's a cooler temperature and as the evening comes back warming.
Right.
So you can actually match
Yeah.
color temperature.
I still have two people here.
It's good to see you.
I'm in,
Right.
You could do that with a sensor.
Right.
If you're in a house, it's a lot easier. If you're in a New York City apartment, getting that sensor up on the roof ain't so easy.
Right.
Right, so if it's an apartment, there are ways to do, but it's not as, I have one house and just taking the sensor on the roof.
Right,
and done.
right, right.
Maybe the circadian we're doing.
But you but you can do follow
Hospital, home.
day.
Follow the time of day, exactly.
Lighting, kind of do a similar effect.
Yeah.
True circadian rhythm is it bright and sunny?
Yeah, I love commercial.
Then it's bright and sunny, well, the equivalent of color temperature in the house versus just time of day,
But,
adjusting the
I
color
got
temperature.
the project and I
Yeah.
So there's
love-
different approaches that
I
you
had
can
to
take.
learn
Right.
all the coding and everything anyway, so I'm like, if I have to know what it is, like I might as well. So I've done,
Like from
um,
I don't know, from a melatonin production standpoint, like is there like a health?
Yeah,
benefit
actually there is.
attached?
There's a whole health and
Yes,
wellness
yes.
aspect
Uh-huh.
of circadian
Like,
rhythm
so
lighting.
I love the, yeah.
It is believed and understood
Nice, I did
that
hospitals, I
we
did
speed up our
birth
bodies
suites
by
for
adding in
Texas
an
women.
artificial light.
And
And by
rehab
going back
hospitals, so
to
they
more
have-
natural
like, I
color
love those.
temperature, you're actually creating a more healthy experience for the
I'm in
body.
both, yeah.
Right?
My parents
You're not
ain't here,
shocking
so
the eyes.
I'm back and
Right.
forth. Okay, they're in,
Every time I go into
they
the box,
say they're in
Yes.
Sharon, but it's really
my eyes are
right down, they're in Lakeshore
away.
now,
Fatigue.
like literally right down the street. So when I leave here, I'm going there.
Lighting working.
And cause I have clients, cause I,
They're not.
the project that I was
It's just
talking to you
like-
about, I have a lot of clients.
Sensory issues, absolutely. The other thing-
It's me.
Yeah, child with sensory issue. And it's very, very.
Mid-city is
important.
coming. We're in nice to meet you. Yes. So, yeah.
Where we're sitting, and I can even show you that in the showroom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Softer
I'm
light.
sorry.
That makes it easier to adapt and accept what this person needs to be comfortable.
Right.
That's what you try to accomplish.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, that means the correct fixtures, the correct dimming control, the correct control system to integrate it all. To do that, it's not like I want
Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
It takes design, planning, lighting designer, interior designer, architect, everything has to be placed accordingly, right? Let's say I'm getting
I wanna see.
color temperature lighting that uses Dolly technology, right, which is digital visible lighting interface. Well, the Dolly driver is separate from the fixture, so you have to have a place to put the Dolly driver. Like for example, I'm Kettle Black here, right? Our interior designers and lighting designers didn't think about that. And so my closets are now filled with my cabinets with dolly drivers that we had not originally planned on putting there. It's hidden away relatively well, but it's still had to be
Right.
considered
Interesting
and in a New York, in a design, so whenever you. Think about, all right, what's the supporting?
Okay, no, we can take it again.
Right. That will tell us how we're gonna, how much we need
I
to
said the
also
selfie
drop
because
the
it's.
ceiling, right?
And it may be seen, or you can. The venue, you can put in a closet, you can put it in a basement, you can, it doesn't have to be right next to it.
So it doesn't have to be, like, is it, but it's connected by a wire
Low
to it,
voltage
right?
wire control.
Okay, yeah. So you can like snake that
Whatever
somewhere,
you want, yeah.
run it
Within
somewhere.
Correct.
The ceiling, that soffit and the thing.
Oh, yeah, that's
Close it
true.
off.
Like, for example, most of the dolly lighting I have out here is in the closet.
So
First
much.
There you go.
Yeah, pardon the interruption.
Now, I actually came onto this project, I'm kind of like the closer. I didn't get into this project till June.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's been in design for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
Right, so, you know, that's why I say, because I'm watching some of the things that people didn't plan
That
for.
they
Yes,
planned
yes.
for.
We had to fix and take care of and then deal with, so I'm trying to warn you up front. But you covered earlier, scope of work,
Yeah.
rid of it,
Mm.
right? Coming up with that approved design, it's all aspects of what you're looking for,
Mhm.
it's gonna make you a much happier customer.
Yeah.
So what's the baseline price point that we're looking at?
I don't know what your system is.
I know, it's like sky's the limit at this point.
So the restaurant can be as a single room apartment,
Right.
grand, to an estate that is building upon building, fully integrated.
Early, yeah.
Did a great project I did Win Macau. Hotel in Macau, China. 1,770 rooms of restaurant technology,
Wow.
okay? Lighting, audio distribution, video distribution, touch screens, everything. With the integration, all the complete project itself, all in. I'm sorry, 1,700 one hotel, another 800 another hotel, so 2,500 plus rooms. It was $35 million.
That makes sense, I mean.
But it was
Yeah.
3,500
Yeah.
rooms,
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
right? It wasn't one building, it was 3,500 rooms,
Yeah.
plus the casinos,
Wow.
plus the hospitality, so it was the entire hotel
Yeah.
is all integrated, and all of it's managed by a single pane of glass dashboard. Commercial. There are homes where we have
Come on, man.
Great job.
a restaurant.
You went to SVA?
We can monitor your home.
Oh, and
I have, like I said, I can monitor it all from my phone or my
Right.
iPad, wherever I am.
Mhm.
Right? So that's the power of the technology,
Yeah.
but you don't have to use it.
So I ended up going
You can go simple.
Mason Rose Rutgers for art.
Okay.
Where you
okay.
want it to be,
And now here in the city for.
find customers who really enjoy it,
That was cool, yeah, I
getting addicted. They
I
keep
remember
buying and
the-
adding and adding and adding and adding.
Right.
They did the SVA accepting the hashtag.
Biggest thing,
So.
Yeah,
Very nice,
yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Yeah.
right, they've hired the right interior designer,
Right.
make sure the right integrator is part of it,
Mhm.
to ensure that you have a good experience. And the question came up earlier, what happens when you give a referral? I never give less than 3 people on any referral, usually 5. Why? Because I actually say, it's up to you to do your research
Yes,
and pick who you want,
right.
right? You don't ever just say, oh, I like this guy, go, no, then you make me responsible for, I told you should hire this person.
That is in my contract,
Mhm.
I just thought about it, we talked about it. The
Okay.
referral, it says, I will refer people, but you're responsible for vetting them and hiring.
I say, you're responsible for vetting, and then I say, here's 3 referrals, because I'm not even gonna give you one.
Yeah, right. and
My
then say-
legal team specifically said, we are not allowed to give a single referral. You must always give multiple, even when you vet it in that manner.
Yeah.
Oh.
My legal team is
That's actually.
very fastidious. I'll leave it at that.
Hmm.
So,
Not bad. Smart.
Yeah.
Okay,
okay,
so we're
so
gonna,
Tuesday,
yeah, Tuesday,
Yeah.
12
Be here.
o'clock.
Yeah.
That's right. Right.
pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. Thanks for
Exactly.
No.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, man. I'm.
You guys did so hard.
Thank you. Wait, what? Okay. 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 I promise you. You know, when I first got into photography, someone was, you should just have one name like Prince of God. So like, credit choice, photography by Rayon. But because people were familiar with that as a first name, they would have some, and they would like me, people would put photography by Rayon. So I'd be like, so then I was like, okay, photography by Rayon Richards. And I prefer that because the iteration of it, yeah, sure.
That's what we say, sorry.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot, I appreciate it.
No, my name is Renee.
Okay, are you going?
I am, and am not at the same time.
Very good. Hey, great. Thank you. Giovanni. Where, please, you.
You just followed,
I just followed.
Oh, you did? Okay, which one is it?
Avery Johnson.
Okay.
It was so nice hearing you speak.
Yeah, we were talking about it,
Yeah,
yeah.
like, you could tell that you really love what you do, and, yeah, it came across so.
I appreciate that. I really do.
I'm very much like he got design the same way, I'm like this and this, like, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I still like something.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And it's nice that you're here in New York.
Yeah.
You're in New York.
I like to
Yeah,
say
we're in
he
New York.
knows.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You work with science also?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I have one that I like to work with, but, yeah, all right, awesome. Nice to meet you also.
Rayon, it's lovely meeting you. We're gonna talk.
Okay.
I need to get
sounds
this property taken care
All right,
of sooner than later.
I'm here.
Okay,
All
all right, take
See you.
care.
Yeah.
So send a note now. So you can-
Okay. Yes.
Welcome to visit.
Will do. Yeah, definitely.
Love to say, oh, God, share with you and everyone.
Okay, okay, great. Yeah, thank you so much. All right.